Let's talk a little bit about how antidepressant drugs work. Antidepressant drugs are separated into types. The first type is what's known as an SSRI, or selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor. And what these drugs do is keep the serotonin that is in your brain active longer. You see, what happens with these brain chemicals is the amino acids will combine with vitamins to make these brain chemicals, like serotonin. And then serotonin will be circulating in your brain, and at some point it will go dormant. And what these SSRIs do is they simply block serotonin from going dormant. So SSRIs keep serotonin floating around in your brain longer. Some of the drugs that fall into this category are Prozac, Zoloft, Luvox, Paxil, Lexapro, and Celexa. Those are all SSRI drugs. Another group is SNRI antidepressant drugs, or serotonin and norepinephrine reuptake inhibitors. They do the same thing, only they keep serotonin and norepinephrine active longer. Some of the drugs that do this are Effexor, Pristiq, and Cymbalta. The earliest type of antidepressant drugs are MAOIs, or monoamine oxidase inhibitor. Monoamine oxidase is an enzyme that causes these brain chemicals to go dormant. And what MAOIs do is block this enzyme. So in essence, it does the same thing. It keeps these brain chemicals active longer. Some of the drugs that fall into this category are Marplan, Nardil, Emsym, and Parnate. MAOIs were the first group of antidepressant drugs to come out, and they have since been replaced by SSRIs and SNRIs. There's also a group called SDRIs. And those drugs focus on dopamine, on blocking the reuptake of dopamine. But let's think about something. When you look at these, what do all these drugs do? These drugs all keep the brain chemicals that you have active longer. What do they not do? None of these drugs cause your body to make more of these brain chemicals. They simply keep what you have active longer. So the first question that comes to mind is, what happens if you have few brain chemicals to begin with and there's not much to keep active? The answer is that these drugs will have very little benefit for you. If you have no serotonin, SSRIs will not do anything for you because there's nothing to keep active. So what usually the strategy is they'll put you on an SSRI and see if that works for you. Well, if it doesn't, because you have no serotonin, then they give you a different type of antidepressant to see if maybe you have norepinephrine that we can keep high that makes you feel better. And if that doesn't work, they send you to a different antidepressant that targets a different brain chemical, hoping that they can find one that you have some of so it makes you feel better. Take a look at some of the brain chemistry resources that I have linked to below, and you can get an education for yourself on the different types of antidepressants out there, how they work, and their side effects. So let me ask you another question. If there are a ton of people on antidepressant drugs, and they're receiving significant benefits from some of these antidepressants, but all that those antidepressants are doing is keeping the brain chemicals that you already have active longer, if that is having a powerful effect, how powerful do you think it would be if we learned how to give you more of these brain chemicals? Not just keep what you have active, but teach you how to build more of them. You would see an even more powerful effect than if you were to take antidepressant drugs. And to be honest, once you learn how this works and learn how to control this, your life will never be the same. When you can completely control when you're productive, when you're focused, when you have energy, when you have all these great feelings, your life changes. It did for me. And this is what I'm going to show you. So, how are these neurotransmitters made?